Escaping the Odds podcast is a movement of freedom in the physical and financial sense. We highlight people who bounce back from prison by switching hustles and a mindset. See, business has always been a part of my DNA. I just went about it the wrong way, which sent me to federal prison for 9 years. I'm bringing y'all dope stories of triumph that's meant to inspire and educate to take you to the next level. And no matter where we come from or come from under, we can set ourselves free and escape the odds. What's up, y'all? Thank y'all for tuning in to Escaping the Odds. I'm your host, Aaron Smith. We got some dope stories for y'all today. Formerly incarcerated men and women who are now entrepreneurs. Let's get it. Thank you all for tuning in to another dope episode of Escaping the Odds podcast, where we interview the formerly incarcerated who are now successful entrepreneur. Man, I got the honor to be able to not only interview one person as I normally do, but to interview three distinguished gentlemen. All three of these men have been on my show before from the beginning. Gentleman here, Mr. Ben Gordon, was episode number 1. First guy, you know what I'm saying, supported what I was doing. My main man, Vocci, Greer, we were incarcerated together way back in 2010. Really good friend of mine. And Mr. David Figueroa, he was episode, I want to say number 6, Second Chance Renovation. So we're doing part 2 of the reunion. Just wanted to really recap and kind of talk with the guys and kind of see how life's been treating them over the year. This is the 1-year anniversary for Escaping the Odds podcast. Just really wanted to kind of get back into the lives of these men who's making an impact on the community, and also just actually having profitable businesses as well. So I want to start off with Mr. Ben Gordon. Introduce yourself. Well, Mr. Ben Gordon, we know your name now, but pretty much just kind of get into your backstory of how things have come the way they are now for you.
All right. So as you know, I'm Ben Gordon, president of Allied Innovation Group.
Gotcha.
We do project management, construction management, general contracting. You know, the basic backstory of how we got into doing what we're doing is when I graduated college, I had a mentor.
Okay.
By the name of Robert Ogden, who was the president of Chester Engineers, the largest African-American owned engineering firm at the time.
Okay.
And he brought me in basically under a mentor-mentee type relationship, which then evolved into me working at his company, learning, being taught the ropes, and with the understanding that either A, you're going to start your own business,
okay,
or B, you're going to be groomed for leadership here if you stay here. Whatever way you want to go, that's up to you. So obviously, you know, I went the A route, and over time, you know, me thinking about how, you know, I'm going to make this business, you know, come together, come to fruition. Things started to come together. I started getting project management requests, you know, on a consulting, you know, deal on the side. And so I started doing things on the side while still working my corporate job. That just basically grew to the point where the job was starting to interfere with the growth of the company. So I, you know, got to a point where, you know, I prayed about it and reflected and thought and decided it was time to go ahead and let the job go and go full time into the company.
Switch hustles.
Yeah, at that time it was switching hustles.
Yeah.
And then I realized later on, because when you're in business, you really don't know until you're actually in there. Then I realized that there's actually a difference between being a hustler and a businessman.
Yeah.
Because when you're, you know, switching hustle, I was in hustle mode, right? Because when you're in hustle mode, you're only thinking about what's coming in.
Mm-hmm.
When you're in business mode, you think about what's going in and what's going out, and what's the difference between the two. Because the difference between the two is your net worth. Your assets minus your liabilities.
Right.
And so I came in hustler mode and evolved into business mode. And so I guess that, I'm glad you asked that question, because that kind of sums up. I went from that, went into hustler mode and evolved in business mode, and we're continually evolving, continually growing, continually learning. And I'll say that 2020, where I am today, has been just, when you just sum it all up, it's just been learning, reflecting, being humble, listening, you know, paying attention, being present.
Yeah. Hey, can we talk about that time reflecting while you were incarcerated many years ago, that pretty much changed your mindset that got you to the point where you are today?
When I was incarcerated, I had one defining moment one time.
Okay.
Where there's a conversation I had with the old man. I don't even know if he's still alive now. His name is Mr. J.
It's always somebody old, right?
Yeah.
Wisdom.
And he had been doing like, he had already did like 30 years, and he was doing a life sentence.
Yeah.
And I'm just a little young dude in there, and just talking and thinking I'm talking wisdom. And he said to me something, and I was like, man, it's hard to figure my way out, man. I'm a product of my environment. Mm-hmm. And he was like, you don't need to be a product of your environment. You need to work on making your environment a product of you. Mm-hmm. A lot of brothers coming here doing time, and or serving the time. You need to let the time serve you. Mm-hmm. Utilize this time. This is an opportunity for you. Yeah. Even though it seems like it's a missed opportunity, right now, every moment that you have in life is an opportunity, especially for you, because you're getting out one day. Mm-hmm. Even for me, even if I'm in here, there's still an opportunity for me to inspire and motivate someone who's going to get out. So now when they're out, that's still a reflection of what I taught in here. Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying? And I took that, and that is something I'll probably carry with me the rest of my life, and I make sure to pass it on to a lot of other people, because that was such a very simple but profound statement that just really I can't even, put too many words to it, but it really just changed my perspective, like radically on life. We always think that, and that's a lot of challenge with a lot of us brothers, in this country, is that we feel trapped. We feel like we don't have any control of our life. Like everything that we're in is a result of oppression, racism, whatever. We don't have any control over it. But then when you realize that, there's a lot of that stuff, but that's just really just hazards. But you still have control. You can choose your own destiny. You can take control of your life. And once you realize that you actually have the ability to take control of your life, that's really, I say, when a lot of brothers pivot towards the path towards prosperity.
Love it. Thanks for that, man. Appreciate it, man. As always, dropping nuggets of wisdom, man. Absolutely. My main man, Vocci, Mr. Vocci Greer, man. So talk to us about Luxuriant commercial cleaning. I know you've been doing that for a while. Give us your backstory. I know you're from Milwaukee. Mm-hmm. Let's talk about that.
So basically we, like last time I spoke, we did a lot of like apartment cleanings, whatever. That's what we specialized in. And we had a nice, pretty book. And then once the COVID came, you got a lot of people trying to get out of contracts. Okay. Because they wanted to cut costs, whatever. Right. So we took a little downturn with that. Yeah. We came back around. And basically we just secured a contract for next year. Okay. That'd be pretty good for us.
Okay. Now, wouldn't you think, though, due to COVID, more people will want to invest in cleaning?
Commercial cleaning? Yeah. They would, but you get some people that just want to cut budgets. So, like my wife was always saying that we should do a lot of the COVID cleaning. Yeah. But things picked back up pretty fast, and that wasn't one of the main things I ended up doing, but it's always opportunity. Yeah. Now,
you know what? We were incarcerated together, as I stated early on, and this was something that we talked about. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? That you were going to start the commercial cleaning business. So let's go back into that a little bit, like that mindset shift as well, where you knew that when you were coming home that you weren't going back to the old man.
Okay.
But you had spent a significant amount of time incarcerated too, right?
Right. Yes. So my main thing, I guess could say, I was into investing. Right. So it was a point to where me and my wife, we had a thing that we were doing before we married with some real estate down here in Chicago. And so that's the time that Obama was about to be president and thought that you guys would get the Olympics. So I guess it was speculation. I didn't know 100% about real estate. I thought it was a no-lose situation. Yeah. And so I guess when the housing crisis happened, I learned that you can make money off of investments, like with stocks and stuff going down. And so that was, like I said, my plan A. Yeah. But when I came home, I just wasn't in the situation to go straight into that. So I ended up working a couple jobs And then I went to the commercial cleaning because I wanted to take the entrepreneur route.
Right.
And that was a way to just have my own time and my freedom from having a boss, I guess, or working for someone.
Right. Exactly.
And at the same time, I had a probation officer, or whatever.
Yeah.
I had the accountability, whatever.
Yeah.
That really helped me get off papers early. So it was that though. It was the light of with the investing that I knew that okay, well if you could make money off of losses and the things that we were doing, I know how so many people that took losses and how that they act.
Yeah.
So I knew it would be opportunities with that, and I knew it was just another way beside the street.
Exactly, right. Yeah. Absolutely, okay. Mr. Figueroa.
What's going on, man?
How you doing, man?
I'm good.
Thanks for coming on, man.
So,
Second Chance Renovation, man, doing some great things in the city of Chicago as far as rehabbing the community. Let's talk about that, going to your backstory, man. You had a unique situation, man. Was facing a lot of time, incarcerated, man, actually beat a serious case, man, and thank God for that. You're
Yes,
with us today to be able to do the things you're doing in the community. So if you could talk about a little bit about your history and then kind of go into Second Chance Renovation, the kind of things you guys are doing in the city.
Yeah. So, thanks for having me again. I grew up in Humboldt Park, right? And product of your environment. I know that statement all too well, right? But I want to change that trend in my family as well. Like, I don't think you have to be a product of your environment. I truly believe that statement you said, make your environment be a product of who you are. And so I fight to do that on a daily basis. Right now, we got 2 young men. We used to always hire guys who were previously incarcerated.
Yeah.
And I've learned a little bit about that. I've learned that a lot of people who come out they still ain't ready. Their mindset's not ready. They ain't ready to switch hustles.
Right. Yeah.
They want to have 1 foot in and 1 foot out.
Right.
And I've learned how to identify that pretty early on.
Let me stop you right there. How do you, because I'm curious, how do you identify that? What does that look like?
Conversations. You have to learn the people you're working with. You have to know their environment. You have to comprehend their daily struggles. Okay. And I've learned to do that. I've learned to get into it with them and understand their family life, their dynamic, what they're struggling with, and be able to work with that, understanding if this is what they want to do, if this is actually for them, do I steer them into a different direction?
So mentorship type of thing too.
Yeah, I want to get into that in 2021 as well. Yeah. I said this to you before, I think everyone who comes out of prison should have a mentor. I don't care how old you are. I don't care what your mindset is. You ain't been out here in a long time. Yeah. So you need somebody out here who has been out here to help you guide and get into the right path. Because if you don't have that, it's just gonna make the path hard.
And it's a false sense of reality too.
No doubt about it.
For so long, and you think you know.
Yes,
I thought I knew.
I thought I knew.
And I thought I was. How much we prepared while we was in there, right? So, but then getting back out here, it's like
reality.
Wow.
You know where that comes from is because when you go in, your perception of the world, that you knew of is frozen in the time that you went in.
Yeah.
And then all the other stuff that's happened, not only does weather and the seasons change, but people change, thinking, social thought currents, the economy,
for sure,
everything, streets, buildings, stuff changes.
Yeah.
So all this time you're preparing for a world that existed when you went in. And now when you come out, you're not really prepared because you're preparing for the wrong thing. And that, I think, for a lot of brothers is a real sobering reality, and why that mentorship is needed. And I'm glad that you mentioned that, because one of the key, things as far as with me launching my business is that we partnered with the reentry program on the south side of Inglewood, Green Reentry, where, they started off with bringing in brothers who had, just returned home, and giving them wraparound services, behavioral health, helping them get integrated, I call it like decompression stage. Like, it's like, you're coming from a different world, a different zone. You gotta be decompressed and realigned, reintegrated back in society, brought back up to speed, and then the training, and whichever trade, construction trade you want, carpentry, plumbing, HVAC, electrical, and then we're doing build outs on homes, the south side, things like that. And then the other component that got added was this intergenerational component. So now you have, we're bringing in guys to the program who just came home, and then now through outreach, through community leaders in the neighborhoods, we're bringing in a youth group, youth component, brothers between 18 and 25, 18 and 30, right. And now they're working side by side with some of the brothers who, been incarcerated, who have what we found is good because they can kind of share their experience and say, hey, we went down the path that y'all went, and provide some sort of, I would say peer mentorship as well. However, what we found also is that there is a little bit of a disconnect because where some of the brothers are, who are, in the younger generation, they're in a different mindset, different wavelength, different frequency. And some of the other brothers, who are coming home, and they're getting into this, they're looking at it like, hey, this is a second chance. I know what I'm getting out of this, And so it's really, what we found is that, they're taking it a lot more serious, because one of those programs that what you get out of it is what you put in, right?
That's almost everything.
And so when you talk about these conversations, so one of the things, it's mentioned that it's interesting to mention that is because if you talk to someone who's willing to engage in a program that's helping them get integrated, that speaks a lot to their mindset and where they're trying to go when they come home. Which path, I should say, right. Which disposition, they're taking. And one thing I found is that when it comes to business, if you're strategically in a smart way, basically helping people, serving people, God rewards you. You know what I mean? And real leadership really is nothing but ultimate service. It's just service on a high level. The reason why I say that, because why would anybody follow you if they wouldn't feel like they'd be in a better place by following behind you? So you're really serving everybody. Old heads would say, in order to lead, you got to serve, you got to follow. I never really understood that until I realized that real leadership is just ultimate service. Right.
So speaking of leadership, with Second Chance Renovation, what does that look like in your organization?
So I'm actually, through this pandemic, I had to lay off everyone when everything first started. We had closed down for 6 weeks, kind of trying to figure out what to do next. And so I started doing a lot of exterior work, buildings, and working in houses that were completely vacant, stuff like that. Right. What I was getting back to about we're restructuring a little bit as far as we're going away from more of the older guys coming home from prison and trying to integrate younger at-risk youth that are over 18. Okay. Me personally, right, I have my own style, how I like to, do things, right, but these young cats nowadays, they also have their own style as well. And so you need, as an entrepreneur, I need to know how to evolve, right? And so I need to learn how these young cats operate, what motivates them, what moves them, how to teach them, because they come with attitude, they come with baggage, they come, what I mean? So you gotta work around it, what I mean? So I'm learning all that now. Yeah. So I'm launching in 2021. I'm doing we're doing a class. I'm working with an organization right now. We're working out the details too. We're having 5 young men from 18 to 21. We're gonna start teaching them construction. Okay. We're gonna do 3 days in the class, 2 days on the field, and just try to steer them away from what they're doing. Yeah. And try to get them on the right path. So, we're doing all that starting 2021. So
is this part of like a nonprofit arm of your business? Or
no, the company, it's part of, our giving back. Okay. You know what I mean? The organization we're working with is a nonprofit. Okay, gotcha. Yeah, but I just want to give back. Exactly. You know what I mean? So
how did that relationship come about? Did they seek you out, or was it something that you spent time trying to reach out to organizations?
Yeah, I hire people from a bunch of different organizations all over the city. Okay. So I have a lot of different, contacts, and so people come to me with ideas, and we collaborate, and I think that's how things happen. So
okay, cool. You also got a program that you work with down in Milwaukee.
Yeah, exactly.
Can you get into that?
There's a place called Northcott, and it's the same. It's a 6-month training program.
Okay.
To where you get people usually that have had those backgrounds. They come home from jail and you train them, and they pay the first part of the minimum wage, and you can pay more into their salary where they pay whatever. And the same thing, like how you said, it's getting to know who the different people are, who you're working with.
Yeah.
Because you want to help. You've been through those situations, and like I said, you got the younger people, and they got different ways, like things that's happening at home, and they have attitudes, and it's a different culture from I think how when we were younger, how we grew up, But at the same note, I'm amazed because I hired 3 guys, and I got 2 that want to do their own business. So, and one really surprised me because he started off not really feeling it like that, and he's real inspiring. He's probably one of the best ones right now.
Awesome.
So I sent them how to start their LLC through the Department of Revenue or whatnot. So I showed them that you can get it online for $130, and don't let anybody try to middleman you and try to sell you all the stuff you don't need. So I'm helping a couple of guys with that, because that's what I want to do, is help build entrepreneurs, instead of having someone work. But it's not wrong with working, But if you have it in you and that's what you were doing, basically you can do it.
Yeah.
So so I'm helping a couple of guys get their own LLC, and we can keep doing business together.
Yeah. So what are some of the challenges that you face as a new entity and getting those contracts? Because I know you have to bid and things of that nature. So knowing how to bid, and that's the whole process of that. Can you get into that?
So with the cleaning, and probably with a couple other things, they have like these franchises. So that's the avenues they pretty much seek out contracts for you. Yeah. Things like that.
So is that like the benefit? A lot of times people go with these known franchises.
It's somewhat of a benefit if you they have like low costs, but it's a lot of hidden costs because they're taking off top roughly 20% just for a partnership. But if they find a contract for you, it's like a 3.5 plus the 20%, 3.5 of the face value. So if it's $1,000 contract, to keep the numbers low, they already getting 20%, so it's 800, and then they're getting 3.5 of the 1,000. So they'll finance you if they found a contract for you. So
they're making money on the finance charge too.
Right. So, but it's something you can learn a lot from them. Yeah. But ultimately, I feel you should do your own because but it's nothing wrong going that route. But you can learn, but you should still seek to do your own thing. So
maybe that's a route for a person to take just to kind of get the game, so to speak.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. I have a couple older gentlemen, my father's friend. He been with him, Johnny King, about 20 years, 20-something years. Okay. So he gave me a lot of the game before incarceration. So it was one thing that I looked at in the past. Okay. So yeah.
Gotcha. All right. With you, brother, what's the going, man? So far as challenges in business, even pre-COVID, just starting up.
Some of my challenges?
Yeah. Or maybe some budding entrepreneurs should look out for.
Well, yeah, I'm thinking I'm just trying to think there's been a lot of challenges. Yeah, there's so many I could choose from. I'm trying to think, there's so many challenges I could choose from. One of the main challenges, and I was just discussing this actually earlier, is identifying blind spots. Because as well-intentioned as you can be in your business and trying to do everything as honorably and as right as possible, there's still areas where you cannot see what's going on, where things may be happening that do not reflect your vision, your brand. And sometimes it's hard to see that, and it's hard to find that. And that has been one of the challenges. And how I've been working through that challenge is again, just embracing humility. When someone says something and points something out to me, right? Not to be defensive about it, to be humble about it. And then when I'm going to do an investigation, also approach it with humility as well. Because if you approach things with humility as well, and you don't have people on the defensive, you can actually extract more information, right? By, paying attention and that type of stuff. And then once you extract the information, oftentimes what you find is they were well-intentioned as well.
Right.
They just had a different philosophy or mindset or thinking of how to do it. And that's what just led to the breakdown. And once you close that, that's where, you find some of the growth. But that's been one challenge is just finding the blind spots. I'd say another challenge is it seems to be easier to find work than to find talent. What I mean by talent is the right talent for you, right, for your business. I'm one of the people that believe that people working with you, they got to have 3 characteristics. They got to want it, they got to get it, and they got to have the capacity to do it. And what I mean by, get it is they get it, like your vision of how you want to work. So for example, the way how we work is we also believe in training, outreach to brothers that's coming home and brothers that were, extracting from the cycle of violence, right? And we make everybody who works with us understand that there are going to be times where you're going to be asked to lead in that capacity, along with performing, in the field. And that's going to be expected of you. And if you can't do that, then maybe this isn't the place to work, So, and these are those things. And then I'll say that the third layer of that is that, making sure to have the difficult conversations up front, and I would just say that's a challenge. People always want to avoid difficult conversations when it comes to business, whether you're getting a new contract or when you're bringing someone on. You gotta, as you're talking about having that conversation, have that difficult conversation. So I'll just sum it up with those 3.
I want to tap into branding and like collaborations and partnerships, right? Because all of your businesses, there's some kind of collaboration or partnership with another entity, different contractors or whatever, right? As for myself, I've been getting people reaching out to do potential partnerships and things like that. And as a new business, like you're eager because you just want your name out there. You're doing what you got to do, right? You're getting it, as you stated, right? But also, what I've learned is that you have to be careful who you partner with because you do have a brand that's attached to that. And everything that looks good ain't good.
Yes,
like,
sir.
but to be able to have the discernment to be able to select, no, that may not be the best situation for me. How do you guys handle situations like that? Or have you guys been in a situation like that?
I have.
Okay.
And what I found is some work well, some don't. But I think what you do is you just start off with something that's smaller and not as risky, just to kind of just see how things go. Don't just jump into the bed. Yeah. Because you might have a partner where
date the situation first instead of marrying it.
Yeah, and exactly. That beautifully spoken. That's well said.
Okay.
Yeah. Meet with people and you kind of see where their morals are too.
Yeah.
Like I said, starting with something small, I might volunteer to do some work for them just to get around them.
Okay.
Gotcha.
I've had one really bad, trusted the wrong person. I had a relationship with them for 5 years. We had a work relationship. Right. What I learned from that relationship is that don't mess with people who don't know how to stay in their lane. So, you're an electrician, be an electrician. Okay. You're a carpenter, be a carpenter. Right. If you're trying to be all over the place, I'm steering away. I'm running away. Right. You know what I mean? I learned that the hard way.
So a niche focus.
Find your lane. Stay in your lane.
And be great at that.
And be great at it, man. And if you ain't gonna be great at it, leave it for somebody else to be great at.
Got that. I like that, man. I like that. Just not being selfish,
Yeah.
A lot of times especially starting out, man, we want to try to grab it all,
And then you overwhelm yourself, and then you start looking bad because you can't complete anything.
Exactly.
Yes, sir.
That capacity.
And then, since you're asking about marketing and branding, that's why that's so critical. Because when you're marketing, it should be strategic. You really need to think about who your target market is. Because a lot of people want to think that everybody is your customer.
Right.
So really, everybody everybody can theoretically be your customer, but not everybody is going to be a good customer for you.
Right.
So, and usually where that happens is that whatever they're looking for is a product or service that your business or you as a person are not strong at. And so now you're entering into a deal that is invariably going to highlight your weaknesses. So you should stay away from deals that you ain't that strong. When people say, try to be, selfish, maybe think of the selfishness in a different way. Say, you know what, no, I want to just get all the stuff that I'm good at. I ain't gonna go mess with that. I'll go pass it on to someone else because I already know that can highlight a weakness. I want to be selfish and only focus on opportunities that highlight your strengths. And if you do that, you keep doing that, then you can start bubbling and growing, and then you can start bringing partners in and slowly start doing some of the other things and expanding the other stuff.
I believe also when you're speaking to people, like, I go meet a person for the first time doing an estimate or something like that, personalities can clash right there on the spot, right? So, if you don't want the job, if you know that the job is not good for you, just let that opportunity pass you by. There'll be others.
Yeah, I think that's one thing that where we come from, you learn to read fast. You read a room, you read the situation fast.
Yes, sir.
It was different stakes.
Yes, sir.
So now it's, like I said, switch hustles, but you got the intuition, you're taught to read fast.
Yeah. No, I totally agree. But on this end of it, may not cost you life or freedom, but definitely can cost you.
It can. Some people scratch, pennies to get you to do something, and you screw that up, they may lose it on you.
Yeah.
So.
Absolutely. So what's next for 2021? Start with you, brother.
So again, I'm doing the collaborations. I want to start, doing outreach for people at risk at a younger level.
Gotcha. Okay.
There's plenty of people and opportunities out here, organizations, helping guys coming out of prison. Yeah. But what about getting them before they even make it there, right? So we're going to start working a little bit of both
just being proactive
together, absolutely, and seeing how that works out. Yeah, so that's our plan for 2021.
I like it, man.
Well, we got like I said, a nice contract for next year, so it give me a little more freedom to where I say I could help make some more entrepreneurs.
Okay. And
I'm going into the trade more full time than the license and different things with that. But I think this gentleman, somebody was talking about the DBE thing before.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm DBE certified.
What is DBE certified?
Okay. Disadvantaged Business Enterprise.
Okay.
And so I think that's one great thing that I was going to put some of the entrepreneurs on. And one thing I got with them, even like if you don't get the contracts through them, they still send you a lot of information. Like I got like different grants and stuff like that. So it's all good, also good to have that. So I'm looking to just expand things and do some teaching of what people can do with the cleaning industry.
Okay. Gotcha. What you got going, Ben?
It's three main goals.
Okay.
Number one, is increase revenue and profit through, strengthening, cultivating, building, strategic partnerships, with others to, go after larger jobs. But in order to have, do larger projects and more significant projects, you gotta have more people around you. So strategic partnerships with people who we can work with and things like that. That's number one. Number two is, our company is working right now as a consultant with a nonprofit. And we're working on building and developing a social enterprise that basically is integrating the training component with actually, with having guys working side by side with professionals that are, willing and, not only willing, but, have a desire to train our guys and things like that. We're doing that right now on a smaller level with about 10 guys on a project. We hopefully expand that to more like 30 to 40 guys in 2021. And then the third thing is, I just got brought on the board of this new place called the Salam Center, which is a health, wellness, and holistic space that provides traditional and non-traditional healing. for people in the community. It's going to be in Woodlawn,
Okay.
and getting that launched in 2021. Right now it's under construction,
Okay.
and so we're providing just more of the construction and development stewardship.
Okay, cool. So where can we reach you?
You can reach me at www.alliedinnovationgroup.com or benjamin@alliedinnovationgroup.com. I always respond. I always check.
Okay. What is it? www.luxuriantcleaninggroup.com.
Okay.
Just reach out. You can leave messages there. I'll always respond.
We got a Facebook page, Second Chance Renovations, and we got a www.secondchancerenovations.com.
Okay. Well, you know where y'all can reach me, escapingtheodds.com, Escaping the Odds Podcast on Instagram, YouTube, Escaping the Odds, Facebook. Even check me out on LinkedIn. My corporate sponsorship, check me out there. Aaron Smith, personal page, Aaron Smith on IG as well. Got the new merchandise just dropped, Switch Hustles. Not only just switching hustles from the streets, but maybe you want to go back to school, right? Maybe you want to take that promotion, just kind of have that mindset to do something differently and step outside of your comfort zone. So that's what Switch Hustles is by Escaping the Odds. So support that, DM me for that, I can ship it to you, bring it to you if you're in Chicago. So thanks a lot for you all tuning in to another dope episode. Like we say here, opportunities over penitentiaries and unlocking freedom. I want to thank you all again for coming on. This is the conclusion of our inaugural season of Escaping the Odds, 41 episodes strong. Next year we got some more dope content coming. Be on the lookout for some more great things to come with Escaping the Odds. So support my brothers here, and let's keep it going. Thank you all. Peace.
Thank you.
Hey.